Hi, this is Danielle Shay, and I'm the Director of Options at Simpler Trading. Welcome to today's episode of your Daily 5. So today, first of all, I wanted to start off by giving an example. So obviously, everybody knows there's a pandemic going on right now, and that has impacted specific stocks in the stock market. Now, these cover a variety of different industry groups, but today I'm going to be covering primarily coronavirus stocks that are in the retail sector. So I just want to give an example with Amazon, because what we saw on Amazon was we saw this really massive momentum move going into the earnings report. Now, I'm primarily an options trader, and I trade on really a 2 to 3 week time frame. So I love looking for moves like this, because in the options market, you typically want to identify something that is going to have quite a bit of momentum behind it. So with Amazon, it was really a macro take coupled with some technical and fundamental analysis here. We saw a bit of consolidation, and then 2 to 3 weeks prior to the report, it really just exploded. This is caused largely by people speculating on the fact that, Amazon's likely going to have great earnings. And we did see Amazon earnings come out, and they were not as good as expected. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is that the stock price starts trading higher in anticipation of a positive report. And the trade for me is I get in 2 to 3 weeks prior, and I get out before the report so that I'm not in the trade when the actual report happens. So that's my first example. Now, here's 4 different candidates that fit, I believe, the same macro as well as technical pattern. So obviously we have Walmart. This is a pretty key consumer staple stock. Walmart has had quite a bit of demand due to the overall pandemic. They've noted that they've had to hire workers. They've been in the news a lot. All of these things help when we're looking for a 2 to 3 week bullish run into earnings, because it's the speculation along with the technicals that will help this type of setup. So in this setup, you can see, number one, it's very oversold. It's more oversold than it's been for quite some time, going all the way back before December. Secondly, it's coming back down to our key moving averages here. I love to look at the 50 simple, the 200 simple, and like I mentioned, the 2 to 3 week time frame into earnings. So what I like to do is I like to identify a nice pullback buy decision. I like to get my time frame correct, about 2 to 3 weeks. And then what I do is I look for an overhead extension target. Normally, the resistance zone is the easiest target, with the full extension target being the ideal target. But obviously, sometimes you're going to run into resistance. That's why I use 2 targets. So after Walmart comes Costco. Costco, same situation. We've had a ton of demand. Costco's been in the news a lot. And particularly last quarter, do you see this run into earnings that it experienced? Even when Costco got absolutely hammered, it still experienced a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day run into earnings. Now, some of these runs into earnings are going to be a little bit short dated, 5 to 7 days, but that's why I always start looking 2 to 3 weeks before so that I can be prepared. The key here is really just trying to look at some specific areas of support, key psychological values that overlap with key moving averages. The next one here is Zoom. So Zoom has been in the news a lot. This has been a really big momentum stock. So in the options market, we love to trade momentum names, because the way that options are priced, you really need to identify larger than expected moves to make money on a leveraged product like options. So in this example, you can see there's a ton of green candles, and there's also these dots on the candles. What that means is that we have a positive trend to the upside. We have positive momentum. And when those dots appear, that means that there's a lot of volume behind the move. So for me, as someone who focuses on the trend and as a nice big cherry on top, a trend that has volume and momentum behind it, this is a chart that I love to trade. Now, I will note that Zoom is going to be an aggressive, it's going to be trading a more aggressive name because of the volatile nature. So for me and my trading style, I do like to have a couple of these more aggressive names such as Peloton, Tesla, Space, but I like to even it out a little bit more with some of the others that don't move as much, like Walmart and Costco. So that's kind of how I look to manage a variety of trades like this. Now, I also love Fibonacci analysis. That's a key part of my analysis. And as you can see, Zoom has experienced two almost exactly symmetrical pullbacks. So, Zoom is a newer IPO, so you're not going to have as many swings as you're going to have on a stock like Costco or Walmart. But I still love looking at symmetry, and I have a great area of symmetry support at about 129.27. So for something like this, it's a little bit, it's not really within that 2 to 3 week time zone because it's reporting out in the beginning of June, but it's something to absolutely keep in mind, especially as it comes back into these areas of support. So when I'm looking at a key area of support like this, basically what I want to see is I want to see price hold and then trigger to the upside, kind of a break of the low of the high bar or the high of the low bar, something like that. So Zoom's definitely one of my favorites. Then the last one that I have for you is Lowe's. So out of the charts that I've shown, this is definitely the one that has the most overhead resistance. So that's absolutely something to keep in mind. What I would want to see with Lowe's is I would want to see it break through. This is the 200 and 100 simple along with the 786 retracement level. I would definitely want to see it break through those levels. But at the same time, the earnings report is not until May 25th. So it's absolutely possible that Zoom could come down a little bit here, and then we would still see a run into earnings in that 2 to 3 week time frame. Now, I love Lowe's for a variety of reasons. I think that especially throughout the coronavirus, this store and this entire industry group, it's been open. Home improvement stores have been open. There have been a ton of reports that people are going to these stores even more than they did before because they're stuck at home. When you're stuck at home all the time, you're doing projects, maybe things you needed to be adjusted in your house that you didn't really pay attention to before. These stores, Lowe's and Home Depot, have just been absolutely packed. So I think that speculation going into the earnings report is going to send that stock higher prior to the report. Now, I just wanted to, reiterate what I said before. This is one of my favorite options trading setups because I like to identify short-term momentum moves in the market. The key to the setup is number one, identifying support. Number two, identifying a time frame. Number three, identifying something that has some hype around it, because the reason why these setups typically work is because the stock is hyped up and people buy it before the report. But the very key to the setup is do not hold through the report. I just buy it before the report, hold it up into the report for that bullish momentum, and get out because you never know what's going to happen. So thank you very much for joining me on today's episode of your Daily 5. Again, my name is Danielle Shay. I'm the Director of Options at Simpler Trading. If you'd like to learn more, you can check out my free newsletter at 5startrader.com or follow me on social media. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Hey guys, Grayson Rose here with StockCharts.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, if you did, give us a like down below, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial minds. We'll see you back here very soon. Happy charting, my friends.